Hi
Good.
guys, welcome to my new YouTube channel, Rajesh Breakdowns. I have two fantasies that made me to start my own YouTube channel and also start my podcast. So the first reason would be so fantasy. In this fast-pacing world, AI is replacing everything. Even people avatars, AI is replacing. Before my AI replaced my avatar, I just wanted to start my own podcast and start recording my own videos. So that is the one reason to start my own YouTube channel, Rajesh Breakdowns. Also, one more thing. Recently, I was closely moving with the students. So at that time, I understood these challenges and the problems that actually students are facing. So that after hearing to the challenges and the problems, I got an idea to start a podcast, not with the business magnates, not with the Instagram celebrities, or nor any other famous people, but a person who really knows the struggle to get into any kind of job, and a person who comes from very normal family. So, in this podcast, everything is real, realistic, and completely true. So, we are not here to promote any kind of brands. We are completely here to share a solid, a foundational knowledge to all the people who are really looking for a solid knowledge platform. So for our very first podcast, we have our very first guest. So I would like to tell you one short intro, and our guest will be sharing his intro as well. But before that, I would like to give a small intro about him. So he's one of a person like you and me. Started his journey from a Tier 4 city and completed his graduation from a Tier 4 college, and currently working as an big data and machine learning expert in Ireland. Without any further ado, I would like to welcome our guest for today's first podcast is Mr. Lavaraja.
Yeah. Thanks, Rajesh. It was nice interacting with you and getting onto this podcast so that I can share my experience with the youngsters so that they can learn from my mistakes, maybe, or my experiences.
Yeah, firstly, I would like to thank you for accepting for the podcast on my very first call. I'm very glad to have you on my first podcast. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Go ahead.
before we are directly jumping into the actual thing, can you please introduce yourself to our viewers? Just a small glimpse about yourself.
Well, I think Rajesh has pretty much covered. There is nothing special about me, but I don't feel. But I don't know how you feel. But I came from the same background that you are in. I came from a Tier 4 city. Uh, Probably, if you think like 10 years back, hardly anyone knows those city names where I come from, even including the environment. So I to begin with, maybe let's start with what I do now. Maybe I work as a big data ML engineer uh, in one of the biggest cloud providing company in the support engineering team. I started my career in 2014, and I I I studied in a Tier 4 college, perhaps like which is very close to. It's a place called in Andhra Pradesh. It's located in Korangi and in Kakinada district. Now you call it Kakinada district. And then I started my journey with the campus placement in 2014 in TCS. Eventually, I worked for a couple of years, like 5 years in Bangalore, and then I moved to Hyderabad to a different company to work with in a different stream altogether.
Mhm.
And then after working for 3 years, then I moved to Ireland, where currently I'm working now as a ML engineer, big data ML engineer. Uh, that's about me. Maybe we as we go on, if you have any questions, then I can share more details.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing your quick intro. So I got to know that you're not belongs to computer science background. Are
Yeah.
you? You're
No,
from computer science
I'm not.
background?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that is one interesting thing about me. I'm not from a computers background. I'm from electronics background.
Yeah. So you started your journey from electronics background to computer science.
Yeah,
It is like a huge shift from computer electronics to computer science. There is a huge
yeah,
gap between that. So what
that's
made
true.
you to choose this field, particularly
Yeah,
computer science background field?
it is not like not it is not like that. Like whether it is a computer science or electronics, it is all because of you have to choose. But in general, it was not like, even I didn't know when I joined, maybe in my what you call intermediate or plus 12, what you call, I didn't even know that these fields exist. All I know was like uh, curious about inventing something or learning about something, mostly electronics and computers. I didn't even know the distinction between, like, you, there is a separate branch for electronics or there is a separate branch for computer science. I didn't know all those things. What I was like, when there is an opportunity to learn, I started exploring in all the domains. Say, for example, when I was in college, so I did my internship in IIT Bombay. Uh, Imagine that, from a tier 4 city, to get a chance into the IIT Bombay for
Yeah.
doing internship.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about your passion. Like I was fond of electronics, so, and then there was uh, every summer, I think it still happens. So IIT Bombay and a lot of IIT universities, they offer internships for the students from, especially from tier 4 colleges.
Mm-hmm.
I did apply. I didn't like to write any fancy resume or anything to about that. I just expressed my interest. So how I feel, like what is the project that I did, or all those things. And then it's like they selected me. So it is not,
Yeah.
it is like you always, like, you feel like I did some small project. So whether it would be like you are estimated to share that details in your resume. So always share whatever the exploration that you did, any project that you have. It is always better to keep in your resume. So as a fresher, that's the important thing you should learn. So you do not think like, maybe first thing is, always do not copy resume. You try to build your own resume. Ask your question like, what are the specialties that I have compared to the other students. So because when you go for interview, interviewer
Yeah.
might be seeing hundreds of resumes, so
Yes. Yes.
he won't even give a chance. Because if your resume looks like your friend resume, then obviously there is no point
Mm-hmm.
calling the same person again for the interview. So the first thing is like, how you present yourself is the first thing. When you, either it could be an internship application or it could be a job application, that's the first thing that you should be keeping in mind.
So you
So
applied for yes, yes, yes. So,
go ahead, yeah.
so you applied for IIT Bombay, if I'm not wrong,
Yes.
internship from your Tier 4 city college. And so how you applied? Like every year they offer internships, free internship opportunities for the students.
Yes, they do. They still do. It's called e-yantra, uh, e-yantra IIT Bombay. If you type, they have a special research lab, especially in the electronics division. But the
Mm-hmm.
internship is not only limited to electronics. The
Okay.
people who has come with me, they're from all different backgrounds. The computer
Mm-hmm.
science, they're from mechanical. So it's up to you. So my first experience, corporate experience, was, I could say, was in IIT Bombay. I was there for 2 months doing my internship.
Mm-hmm.
Then, if I got to know a lot of things, because
Yeah.
who are your colleagues in the internship? They are from all top IITs, NITs. Everyone will
Yeah.
be there. So
And
that's
you're
the
the only
first
person from a Thai city college.
Yeah, like couple of two more colleagues from the same
Okay.
college. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. That's great to know.
yeah.
So your college
And
gave
that
you the
is
opportunity, or you only find by yourself?
it's all ourselves. So I don't know if these days what you do with the mobile phone, except watching the Instagram and all. But you should have something you keep monitoring. When maybe if you spend 10 hours on Instagram, maybe you should spend like 10-20 minutes on checking if there are any new internship opening up or anything. Any that you should have that as a regular, what I would say.
Yeah, so
Activity.
we as in like people call this kind of generation people call Gen Zs. We we want this instant dopamine. So we are finding that in the Instagram reels. So most of the people are
Yeah,
getting addicted to them. So that
that
would be
is
the one
true.
of the
But
reason for it.
the other problem, maybe I could see is in the current generation is like you can't even concentrate on something more than 30 minutes. Maybe it's all because of the kind of distractions you have. The first thing is like if you want to achieve something, first you have to learn, focus on something for like a constant time. Like you
Yeah.
maybe now what we on a day to day, if you go to college, what you will do, you can't even hear a lecture for 30 minutes. Then how
Yes.
do you sit in the corporate world and understand? Maybe the meeting can go for 1 hour and you have to be very attentive. You do not know what comes next. So how do you do
Yes.
it? The first thing that you need to learn is whether can you concentrate on a specific task for a long hours. That is one thing that you need to get habit of. So this cannot be taught in a corporate company because they're not hiring you for this, and
Yes.
they expect you to have it. So the first thing is like, especially if you are a new aspirant, the first thing I would advise you is to is keep reducing your screen time until unless it is necessary. You should not be having watching. I mean, it's up to you how do you manage,
Yeah.
but that is the one distraction that you should focus on.
Thank you so much for that. So I already started my started reducing my screen time because uh, I found that I'm missing my productivity. So I restricted all my apps so that I can restrict my screen time as well. So that I already did.
Yeah.
And thank you for bringing that point to here, because all the people who are watching this reel will be at the age of maybe age of 18 to 25. So most probably everyone will be in the same zone or genre itself. So this will really help the people. So one question that I would like to ask you is, so recently what is happening in the outside world with the students is they're not accepting couple of jobs because of the job pay. The pay that actually that companies are offering, they're not accepting it because these all the people having this lot of expectations, and when it comes to the reality check, it is not happening. What could be the one reason, or whether it is a true or false? Like people are falling in this of trying to get a high paying job in the starting itself and rejecting the jobs that they got. Do you think it is really true or correct?
I would say it's not completely 100% true, but some of I mean some percentage up to some percent it's true. Um, the problem is that we always like what we always keep hearing about some X person got some Y package.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Yeah,
so that is we that I don't know if it's because of the media that is trying to earn some revenue. They just keep publishing saying that someone so and so got some 40 lakhs package in Microsoft, so
yeah,
and so got some 70 lakhs package in this thing. So when you keep hearing these things, maybe sometimes you feel like whatever the offer that you are getting might be low. But the question is like, you should think like, why did I apply job for this job first? You
yeah,
should have that thought even before applying to it. So are you ready
yes,
for it? So you should not be wasting time for the company as well as yourselves. The first thing.
yes,
And if especially if you're a beginner, how does company know that you are capable of so and so? It doesn't know. So
yes,
how can it evaluate you? It can evaluate you based on whatever the current employees that they have. Based on that only they can evaluate you. And every company has a pay system.
yes,
So it will try to give you the same thing. It won't change just for one employee until unless you have some exception, like maybe you design your own operating system, or you design your own, or you did some X
yeah,
project which
yeah,
none of your peers did in the college or in specific region. So that's the only exceptions. Other than that, if if you do not fall into that category, so the first thing is that having expectations is one thing that might be the reason people are giving up The second thing is like they always, whenever they get a package, they always ask their friends saying that I got this package, and so the person will try to give you advice that which you do not know. Like he can say you cannot survive with this package in this thing.
Exactly, exactly.
If you are a fresher and then you don't have any commitments or anything, it's worth exploring whatever the offer you get. I understand that you grow professionally, but until unless you get into the system, how can you expect it more? First, if especially in the current times, if you have an opportunity, 90% of the time you try to utilize it. Do not think about it. If your friends are giving advice, if you are there giving, take that advice before you even you go for interview only, so you do not
Yeah.
waste your time, because you don't have time to give hundreds of interviews yourself, and you don't waste the time for the interviews as well. So that's the one thing that you
Mhm.
need
Yes,
to.
and one more reason people are taking the back step, because of the low pace, because of the relatives that are there around them are pushing them like, if you can try one more month, one more year, you'll be getting 24 lakhs LPA. You might be getting 40 LPA. Just give it a try. You can get this kind of jobs whenever you want. Try for big, try for big. So because of the influence that these people are getting from the outside sources, these people are getting influenced and expecting their beyond their limits. So expecting beyond the limits make no sense when a person belongs to very normal background, because family might be depending on that particular person. So this is one of the reason, because of the relatives, or you, as you said, your friends, they're influencing more than anyone else in the world. These relatives are influencing more than anyone else in the world. If they're not getting the job, you're not having the job. This is the thing that they say. If they're having the job, why this, why not any, why not 20, 30, 40? If we are getting 40, why not 1 crore? This is not nowhere, no limits for this. This is one
Yeah,
loop that people are stuck in.
this is like a chicken and egg problem, so there is no
Yeah.
end to it. So it is you one it is you or the person that you have to take this decision. So decide it on it. So it's your job, you are going to do. So who can influence you is something that you decide on it. It's there is no clear cut advice, but
Yeah.
it's something that you have to think about it. So if the person who says like it's a I mean it's a low pay, so ask for their advice only, like why they think it is that. Are they sure, like you, how are they sure that if you wait for 1 year you will get a good job? Imagine that you think that you waited for 1 year, now again you join the same job. What you lost is like 1 year pay plus 1 year experience you lose. Now
Yes.
you'll start from the beginning, so that is also
Yeah.
something that you have to think about.
So coming to your role, so what exactly your role, and what exactly as a big data and ML engineer you do? How your day looks like, as simple words, so that people who are watching this might get the interest to get into a role like you, so that they'll get to know what exactly your role is all about.
Yeah, so my role, I work as a big data ML engineer in the support operations. So I handle customers from all over the world, including so and so like top whatever the 500 customers, or you can say top 500 customers in the world. I I also handle customers from a startup scaling to a big enterprise. We could say I'll you could say like maybe the top FANG customers as well, FANG companies.
Mhm.
So they did so the day to day in my life goes like, so I work in especially in ML space. So if there is a specific ML model that was released, the customer wanted to deploy in the cloud platform, they would come to us if they're facing any issues. So we understand that what is the customer use case, what they're trying to deploy, what kind of model it is it's an uh, LLM, or it's in a text to text generation model, it's in a text to speech, speech to text. So based on that, we assess the customers, we research on it, we deploy those models on the cloud, and we work with customer and help them to resolve that specific issue. And
Okay.
help them deploying them on the cloud platform. So basically, when you say ChatGPT.com, where is the model running? It's not running on your in your laptop, right? It is running on somewhere
Mm.
else, and you're
Yeah.
interacting with the model. So who will take care of the running that model on the cloud? So it's more of my job, my day-to-day task to make sure that it is running as expected.
Okay, as you're saying that chat GPT and all the fancy terms nowadays going really viral into the people. So tell me one AI tool that changed your entire role. One AI tool might be reduce your workload or might increase your workload because your company reduce the manpower.
I would say there are a lot of tools. We do have our own internal tools, and
Mm-hmm.
we build our own tools. We use them in day-to-day productivity to improve the day-to-day productivity. Uh, if I wanted to use some external tools that I use, there are a lot of them. Especially, I'm not curious about a specific tool. I'm curious about if there is any new tool that is in the market. I'm curious about testing that tool, how it works. So
Same as me.
people might people hearing this might know about GitHub. Why use
Mm-hmm.
we use it to store code? There is something like similarly. There is something called Hugging Face,
Mm-hmm.
where any of the trending LLM that get first released on Hugging Face. So Hugging Face is where they will open source their model content. You can say weights on the Hugging Face. Once they're available in the Hugging Face, you can use it, and you can deploy your own ChatGPT locally or if your own on the cloud. So I use Hugging Face a lot to experiment a lot of models. Yeah, that's a one tool, and then internally we use these tools because if, for example, I have 1.5 hour meeting and then I want to summarize it. There is no point at manually again listening back to the 1 hour meeting if in case you forgot some point and summarize it, right? So that's
Yes.
the first application I could say. So you can use a chat GPT and it can summarize entire meeting for you with and give you the like entire 1 hour meeting in 5 6 points. That is one advantage that I could see. And if you wanted to see the jobs that are replaced by the AI, most likely the jobs that are repetitive in nature, that's the first thing.
Mm-hmm.
And if there are some jobs that are like in terms of, you say, like a call center,
Yeah.
or you have some voice process which can be automatically automated by using AI. You don't need a person. And and even in if you come if you think about a software development, it can be automated up to certain extents. So
Mm-hmm.
what you could do with the 10 people, now you could do with the 2 people using AI. Because so writing code is the crucial part of the software development, which AI can do it for you. All you need to do
Yeah.
is you have to validate the code written by AI and make sure that it is as per the standards. And then, which is obviously like you have reduced your effort like from weeks to the days, and then you don't need more people to do it now. So in every industry, AI has a role. But what AI cannot do, AI cannot do a mechanical works until unless you design the AI system. You teach
Yeah.
that. Yeah, so those industries, I don't think it has less impact compared to the IT industry. Yeah.
So as you're saying that mechanical roles are completely safe as of now, and coming to the other voice roles, call centers and other these kind of job roles might get vanished by 2026 or 2027. Probably even now it is happening. So many coaching companies and also other call centers, big companies which are there in the outside, big players, like they are replacing AI tools with humans, which is reducing their cost as well. Manpower reduced, cost effective, and these things will come into picture, and they're saving the money. So I hope if someone is doing some these into these kind of jobs, so make sure you're finding some backup jobs, because by 2025, probably the final year for this kind of call centers of almost to 10 to 20% of the jobs already vanished, which comes under calling part. Yes.
either uh, you see how that AI is I mean replacing you, or one thing you can do is like uh, you can be the first one to introduce AI maybe in that field, or you get trained on AI to, because you are the person who knows about how the things work in the call center. So
Yeah.
definitely maybe if you learn AI, so you'd be the first person to be hired, because you know how to
Yes.
automate things. So
Yeah.
one other way you can't deny that it is going to be automated. If you do not do it, someone else do you. So it, be the first person then. It's
Yeah. All
always.
the yes. If you like this famous line is going so viral. AI is not going to replace your job. Person who knows how to handle AI gonna replace you. So this is the fancy statement that is going around the world like anything. So nowadays. So I have a pretty interesting question for you. Can AI replace your job or can AI replace your role? Because as we can see, AI is almost replacing so many other roles as of now. If you
Mhm.
can see down to the line around 5 years from now, can AI replace your role?
No, I would
So
say
if
no.
someone, yeah,
Mhm.
you say you know because you're working on the role, or you so like you have this confidence key that no AI tool can replace my role.
I'm confident that if AI is going to be replace my role, I would better learn something more than and then be in the job. I won't say like I wait for let AI replace my job. I won't wait. So
Okay, so you're saying that I'll upskill before AI replacing my job. So that was pretty interesting answer as well. So nowadays, as you're saying that AI is replacing so many jobs, might it might also get into your job as well. So one more interesting question: can AI replace your company? I'll tell you the reason as well. So recently we had this job talk where we connected with students and job working professional as well. So during that call, we got to one of the persons shared that because of one particular AI model, all these services that that particular company is providing, almost all the core services that particular company is providing got replaced. That means 50 to 70% of the revenue got decreased for the company. Also, one more statement he shared during the call is his clients, whoever he works for, they started implementing their own AI models in their company. Rather giving the projects to these company, they are using they are using their own AI models and building whatever they want. So, what is your take on this? So, in this case, AI might can replace.
that's true. If you, I think you only quoted that example. If AI cannot replace you, the person who knows how to use AI will replace you.
Yeah,
It's the same way for both clients and the companies. So uh, if AI is everywhere, so you cannot deny it. So maybe you can just ignore it. Or you can it's all the ignorance. But the first thing is like you have to evaluate. So if you feel like your client's gonna use AI and they don't give you business, you should be the one that you go and tell them how to use UI. That itself is a business for you.
Mhm. So the best chance to be remain same, even it goes for next 5 years to get industry ready, knowing things that are
Yeah.
coming into the market, upskilling every
So
time will make
AI
you
has,
sust.
yeah, that's true. It will slowly eventually replace. So the thing is like when you say company, uh, how big is the company, like, so you can say like a one small company is a company, so it has only one call center application. Obviously AI can replace it. You don't need. So
Yeah,
if you have like 10 people handling calls, maybe you get thousands of calls a day and you have to pay 10
Mhm.
people, whereas AI can handle hundreds of calls simultaneously. You don't have need 10 people, it can handle every call parallelly. So that's the
Yeah,
advantage for your business itself, you see. So obviously it can replace it, but there are certain industries where AI cannot go, because AI is as good as it as the data it was trained on. So it cannot do anything if it does not know about the system. It cannot predict anything. Or if your AI model itself has some bias, then obviously you don't want to use AI for a specific task, because if it has a bias, then you cannot expect the results that it is going to produce if you use an AI tool.
Yeah,
So there are a lot of factors in it. So how much you want to put AI inside your business is how much risk you want to take and how much testing you are done, like whether are you sure like AI is gonna work in 100% of the cases? Are you're okay that if it works in 70% of the cases, then you can replace with it. So it depends on you or your business and the risk factors, and especially in AI is hallucinative. So you should
yeah,
be considerate about that as well, because it depends on how you give your prompts and
yeah,
how you tune your prompt tuning. All those factors come into picture. So it's not going to completely replace. It will redefine the jobs. So every job, if there is a potential to use AI and do it in a faster way, obviously that it should be implemented within the role itself. So that is the one thing that's going to happen, and every company wanted to bring it because everybody wanted to optimize their revenue. I mean, revenue will spend less. So this is the mindset of the business. Every business wanted to spend less and more. So if that
yeah.
something can be done using AI, definitely they will come. And and you, whether you are the person that is implementing the AI or you are just waiting for someone else to come and replace your role, is something that you should think of.
Cool. So again, the same statement. If you are upskilling yourself, you'll stay remain in your company. If not, you're still following the same kind of template that was pre-made before 5 to 10 years back. If you're following the same kind of template and learning the same kind of skills, so then your job might be in the risk. So whoever preparing as well, so they should prepare by keeping in the mind that
Yeah, see,
yeah,
one
like
thing is like you will not be working on the same technology for 10 15 years. So that is one thing, because obviously you are not using the same, say for example, same mobile phone for 10 years, right? So how can you
yeah.
expect that you work in the same technology for 10 years? So you were using
Mhm.
something like, you're using Facebook in maybe 10 years back. Now you don't even use Facebook, you have Instagram. So when you have like inventions happening within your eyes, how can you expect that you would work in the same technology and you can survive for the 10 years? Don't be in that uh, attitude, I mean, whatever say mindset. So you should always keep learning. Whenever you should always leave some part of you to the learning new things. Never
Yeah.
hesitate to learn something new. So that's what keep you secure for the future. So you learn something, maybe you learn five things, but that one thing that you learn, maybe you can keep your job secure for another 3 4 years, and then you might, something might come, you learn it. So it should be always a learning process.
Okay. So thank you for sharing that. So, one more interesting question for you, and it is regarding to your job role itself.
Mhm.
So, what is the scope for your job role for next 5 years? Will it remain same, or any primary changes are going to be happen in your particular role that you're actually working right now? Because as we have discussed till now, every year or every month there are lot many changes are coming. And because nowadays all the LLMs, like big players in the market, are making the insane changes that we can't even imagine. The work that
So
takes hours and weeks of time, now we can complete it in minutes of time. So
yeah,
what is the scope for your particular role, that is big data and ML engineer role? How secure it is for the person who is watching this podcast and who wanted to pursue his career in big data and ML engineering. So what
I
he
would
need to
say
keep in his mind.
it is very much secure, because you are the person who manages the AI. If not, like, what I would say, you, if you are not getting replaced by AI, but you are the person managing this. So the role includes itself managing the AI systems and understanding the. So you are the one responsible for making the AI system up and running, and so obviously that AI, there should be someone to maintain the AI. It's not that
Yeah.
like it can run itself. It can go and run on the server itself, right? So ML engineer role is the role that is going to be most sought role in the future and as well as the present, because every organization wants the engineers, ML engineers, because they are responsible for managing their AI systems. uh,
Hmm.
if you are a small company, maybe you rely on some third party providers like ChatGPT, but when it comes to enterprises, they don't want to put that data on some publicly. So they want their
Yeah.
own systems, because they can't rely on what kind of bias that the external system induce. So they want to maintain their
Yeah.
own AI systems, and to maintain AI systems, the most I would say maybe in the demanding role would be the ML engineer. I would say
Hmm.
I'm saying ML engineer because I'm not from completely from a development background, but uh, so if you are a software developer or a ML developer, that could be another role that would be uh, having more demand. But similarly, if you are not so into the coding, but you still wanted, like you wanted to be like work with AI and all, so this is also another role that you can explore. So
Cool.
first thing is like maybe since I said it's ML engineer role, now just go tomorrow, go don't go and start applying for ML engineer roles. It's not gonna work like that.
Yeah.
So first is, yeah. So since you have like now there is no opportunity. For example, in like maybe 4 5 years back, if you want to get prepared for an interview, you don't know whom to ask. You can reach out someone, they might be available, might not be available. Now you have a lot of AI systems, right? So use them
Hmm.
now for your advantage. Use any AI system and ask it like, I wanted to prepare for this. What should I learn? Can you test me on this thing? Can you ask me some questions? That is itself is like you before even going to the interview, you prepare yourself using AI. That now AI is not replacing you. AI is
Exactly.
helping you to get a job, isn't it? So
Hmm.
that
Yeah. Yeah.
attitude is having. But I don't know what reason you like when maybe this was a trend like couple of months ago when that Ghibli image came, everybody started
Yeah.
images. But what did you get out of it? It's but how have you ever thought like how it is able to generate that image? Then isn't it that differentiating from you the other 1,000 people who are applying for the same job? So you should have that kind of mindset. Like so how
Yeah.
ChatGPT is able, because ChatGPT used by like millions of users all the world. How it is working? Even it's not going down
Free.
because of the you're free. So you'd have this kind of mindset, then it automatically prepare you for the interview off of the things you already prepared yourself. The rest is like depends on how the interview goes. There are certain, even though you prepared 100%, there are certain things not in your control, not in everyone's control. So
Yeah.
that is fine. You cannot, but whatever in your control is something that you should be utilizing them.
So cool. It is pretty simple. In one line, if you can say that your role is completely safe, no AI, no model can replace your job.
Yes, I would say yes. So
Yeah,
see,
great.
as long as AI can replace human brain, maybe if it can replace human brain, then I would say no. I mean, then that time I would say it can replace my job. But as long as it cannot think like a human or it cannot act like a human, I would say no. AI cannot replace it. AI can only replace it. It's same way like when there was no computers, everybody is reading in the books. So you might need like
Hmm.
10 people to write all the records. When computer
Yeah.
came, one computer can enter hundreds of people's of record. The same way you think that way. Now whose role was replaced? It replaced the people who don't know how to use the computer. The person who learned how to use
Yes.
computer is
It's
still
completely
surviving, right?
safe. Yeah.
This is the same way you have to think. So think about maybe you can think this way. Think in that day-to-day process. How AI can improve my say for example when I say you have to have a concentration for 1 hour. Think about like maybe AI can handle your WhatsApp messages and only it's absolutely important. Then it can ping you or send you. Otherwise, it can keep all the distractions away for you. Think in
Yeah.
those terms and then see how can you build such system. So when you have that kind of attitude, you already design something which is what companies are looking for. When you say go in company, you say like I did this. Oh, you already did this. Then let's go with the next step in the process. So they don't want interview when you can show.
Yeah.
Additionally, I would advise the young people to have maintain your own GitHub profile. if you are working on something, you have some experiment, post everything that is available publicly, so that in the interview you can just say that I have done so and so projects, they are available here. So the interviewer itself get a confidence that, because obviously you will have one in 1 hour interview, there is no interviewer gonna judge you, because we don't know, you can be
Yeah.
lying. So when your work itself is speaking for you, then obviously then that itself is a good indication that I can hire this candidate. So obvious, always interviews try to see how can they filter you. First thing, they don't want, I think I was talking about, I think we had some conversation that there are some 400 people applied for the interview, and they gave access to the chat GPT also, but still they could not
Mhm.
clear the exam, because they thought it like any question, copy paste in the chat GPT, copy paste to the interviewer. So why do you need can't interviewer copy paste the question and
Yeah.
ask the chat the same way?
I'll tell you one more thing. One of the craziest thing that I recently got to know. So some people thinking that AI means ChatGPT. So
Yeah,
few people are in this dilemma that AI means ChatGPT. If he can copy paste some question and ask ChatGPT, ChatGPT gives the output, then he knows the AI, complete AI. Now
yeah,
he know AI. He's putting AI expert. I'm an AI expert because he know how to use ChatGPT. He just copy pasted the question and got the output. So now he's thinking in that way.
yeah. And tomorrow, if chat GPT goes down, what he would be doing? He should think himself like, or herself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Or
one of
imagine
the.
you are in a remote village, and then how do you do? How do you handle such things? Like maybe today you have internet access and you do everything. ChatGPT will do it for you.
Hmm.
Then what happens tomorrow if there is a, if the company don't want to use ChatGPT, and you want to do it yourself? At least you should know what code you written, at least what it is doing. Then you can
Yeah.
work on it. So you blindly copy pasting, why it's like, because can't the interviewer do it himself? And what's the point of this thing? So when you ask a question to the chat GPT, have you ever thought like how it will answer the question itself? How can it know that it has to answer the question in this specific format? So how it's happening? So does it somebody already prompting even before you ask the question, or there is some instructions? So you have to align your thought process this way, then you will get answers yourself. So the first thing is like, my best advice is, if you have an interview, use AI before the interview, not during the interview. Use AI to prepare for the interview. That's my advice for
So
whoever aspiring for the jobs.
yeah, as you mentioned one point during you answering that particular question, a few companies are allowing people to use AI tools, any AI tool, to crack the written test. Recently, I got to know this information that a few people went for a web develop full stack role. So the interviewer asked them to use ChatGPT and write the code. So they give the access to ChatGPT, and now they want the people to write the code using ChatGPT. Now it's not about getting the code from ChatGPT; it's about how creatively you're getting the output. That is what these companies are actually looking for. They don't want some ordinary output because that ordinary things, as you said, they can only get it with a single prompt. So they
True.
want people who can use AI models and bring some creativity live. So that's what these companies are looking as of now in 2025.
Yeah. So this is called something called vibe coders. Vibe coding.
Yeah.
There is something is famous in the market. So
Yes, yes.
this is another role that where most of the companies are looking, because they want the person to be more of using AI, and if you can do the task using AI, they're fine with it. But the question is like, in order for you to be ask the ChatGPT to do something creatively, first you should know what is creativity, or at least you should have had some experience. Then only you can
Yeah.
ask it to create
Even we don't
creatively, right?
understand what kind of code it gives us. If we don't know
Yeah.
what it is, it gives some random
And
thing, we'll just copy and paste it.
yeah, it gave you a very nice code, but you don't know how to run it. Then what's the point? Like, how do you run? Like,
Yeah,
where to run? So that also you should be aware of it.
cool. So here is one more thing. Uh, so what are the five tools that you are using? for your role? A simple like name of the tool and what for what kind of task you're using it for.
The AI tools.
Yeah, yeah. What kind of AI tools you're using for your work life? For what kind of task you're actually using them?
I use ChatGPT for the personal work. Say,
Mm-hmm.
for example, I want to book a flight ticket and then, or I want to book a visa for a specific country. So there is, I, for example, I wanted to know how, when would be the flight cost would be like cheaper in a specific month. We can ask, we can use your AI for that because instead of you going to Google and typing cheap flight tickets and then you scrolling through hundreds of web page links, AI can do it in a better way for you. That's one tool I use. And then a lot of internal tools which I cannot tell you, but we use for internal and day-to-day work for a for meetings and then sharing the summary meetings, then asking questions. There are a lot of tools. Um,
Mm-hmm.
there are lot of tools out there, but until unless like you it depends on the use case also. So my role does not require any external tools because we have everything internally, so we don't
Mm-hmm.
use any external tools. But if you want to explore, you can use like there is something called Quen Quen AI. It's also similar AI like ChatGPT, but it's invented by from a people from China. Quen AI, and then you have DeepSeek. So maybe if you are unsure about something that AI is hallucinating, then I will ask the same question to all the three models and see. Then
Mm-hmm.
I'll decide like because sometimes you are not sure what AI is telling also true. So
Yes.
that yeah, so we can use a different models itself. So because they are trained obviously in a different data set, so the answers can be different. So, but if the two AIs are
Mm-hmm.
giving the same answer, then the possibility is that the information is up to like some extent it is very correct. So
Yeah, cool. So we are in 2025 now. The person who is watching this particular podcast, they might be waiting to know what kind of tools that they need to use it in 2025. In your opinion, because you are in the market right now, what are the five best AI models that are there in the market, which everyone should know? Which everyone, I mean, every student or working professional should know. What are the five AI tools? Just names of the tools.
ChatGPT one, and then if you want to run AI on your phone, how do you do it? There is something called Pocket Pal. There is an app where you can run the model itself in your phone. So even if you don't have internet, you can ask the questions to the model. And there is something called Olama, where because obviously running AI models is costly because you do not have enough number of GPUs, and purchasing GPUs is not an easy option because they're very costly. So there is something called Olama where you wanted to run any model, any possible like model on your local laptop itself. So I use it Olama to run models and test it. And then there is something called there are other models where I use for example, if I want to generate an image, I use either Google Gemini models, or that is one model that I use, or there is something called Pen AI. So all these AI tools, you just understand that the base of all these AI tools is an AI model. So they were developed around an AI model. So because
Mhm.
whether you want to generate an image or you want to generate any video, so at the end it goes to an AI model that so so what kind of model you have defines like what kind of task you could do. Say whether
Yeah.
you have a multi-model is like where a model can understand both image and videos. So there are something
Mhm.
called Q1VL. It's an Quen model. It can understand a video, and then it can also, if you input a video, it can tell you what's happening in the video.
So great. Thank you so much for sharing that. So as we have discussed many things, and people might get the interest to get into a kind of role that you're actually working. I'm a person, let's take an example. I'm a person from a BTech second year or third year student, and I wanted to get into a role that you're actually working on. What kind, so now instead of getting into your role, what kind of skill sets that I need to develop, what kind of internship opportunities that I need to do or what kind of projects that I need to add on my resume, or what kind of AI tools that I need to be good at to get into a role which you are actually doing right now.
Uh, it's not like you can learn everything in a day one.
Mm-hmm.
It takes time to learn something, and then that would help you to learn something else. Then
Yeah,
learn something else. It's not that on a day one you can learn this thing. But if I'm not wrong, uh, all of all of the engineering backgrounds are engineering branches has a mathematics, so as one of the subjects. Do you
yeah.
know that the most of the principles that behind running AI models is, if I say mathematics, how many of you know?
Even I don't
it's
know. I
it's
use it.
mathematics. So we
Mhm.
often, like, maybe in the first year you will have something called
M1.
probability, probability,
Uh-huh.
and so yeah. So you don't know that all these subjects were behind the specific AI model, how it is predicting it matters. So it uses mathematics, and in the under the hood it uses mathematics to do the predictions. When I say,
Oh,
like, y equal to mx plus c, so you have, like, some, like, you will find the slope, you have the other values, right? So
yeah.
it's just a model, like I would say y equal to mx plus, you have an equation that, and then you know some variables, and then you will find an unknown variable. Same goes with AI. AI is like a, assume that is a big mathematical equation where it has like thousands of constants, uh, like some parameters, and then it is trying to find out. So mostly that is what AI does. So if you
Yeah.
understand bit of mathematics, then it's very easy to understand how AI works in the background. If you
Okay.
imagine, if you wanted to go in that level, then definitely mathematics is a one subject. There is s- you should be knowing, definitely.
Okay.
And yeah, and then other fundamentals, if you wanted to know, like, to get into the role, you should, when you say an engineer, so you should be a good understanding about your operating systems. Maybe if not a good understanding, at least you should know how many of you use how many of you use a operating system other than Windows for your day-to-day use.
Probably 70% of the people use Windows.
Yeah,
And the other 10 to 20% would be using Mac, and very less people use this Linux, Ubuntu, other
yeah,
OS models.
yeah. And how much percentage of current world infrastructure is run by Linux? You see, so you have to, So I stopped using Windows when I was in college itself. So the reason is not that because of this thing, but when you use, it comes from that level. Like, when you use, you should think about how why are not the industry is not using Windows for, like, most of the applications. What are the advantages?
Yeah.
So when you start using Linux from your college itself, when you come out of the college, you don't have to again practice anything specifically for the Linux, or so you already know it in day to day, you use it, so you know how to use Linux and all. So that is one
Yeah.
important thing. So having fundamentals of Linux is the first thing that you should be knowing, and the second thing is, like, that is most important. And then you should know how the operating system works, at least in the basics. Now, say for example, now you're running something, your system and your machine hangs, you should be knowing how to troubleshoot yourself. Just not that you shut down and restart, that would fix. So you should know, right, how many
Yeah.
times you will shut down and restart, like, if, when a system is hung. So you should be knowing that how to fix it. So these are the same kind of things when you are
Yeah.
in the job also, you would be doing it, because obviously there is some software system that is not working as expected. Then you should be knowing, like, where to look and how to fix it. So this kind of mindset you should build from the tools that you are using at your own home as well. Look. So, and that thing, and then having the prompt engineering, I would say it is also another techniques you should be knowing it when you
Mhm.
wanted to use it, because the prompt plays a very crucial role, how the AI responds, because it's obviously the instructions that you give based on the output you get. So if the
Yeah.
instructions are not good, then the output also won't be good. So you
Yes.
should not be blaming AI for that. So And these are the main things that you should know if you want to get into the LLM. And then maybe a basics of machine learning that you can be learn at any time, but these two things that you should be knowing them, so to get into this role. So you can't
Okay.
be expert on the day one, but at least it will give you an advantage over the other people who do not have these skills.
So great. Thank you for sharing that. So I have a three more questions from the
Mhm,
students that I have recently
mhm,
connected during my
mhm.
job talk and also at that time as well. So
Okay.
now, recently, I took a session. So at that
Mhm.
time, I asked a question to one of my senior. So, bro, there are so many AI models that are there, like Lovable and other AI models. They're replacing coding. So now, I can easily build my web application whichever I want. So the question that I have is coding dead?
uh, Coding dead? No. Coding, see, first you have to think how the AI is able to code. It is able to code because there are some thousands of uh, developers who has written that program in that way. So based on that information, it assuming that this can be done this way.
Yeah,
But tomorrow you might have a new different technique that which AI is not using. So obviously AI doesn't know about it. So AI
yeah,
cannot invent itself. It's only
yes,
based on
yes,
the data it can make predictions. But
yeah,
human thoughts are thought process is like it's evaluating process. So it based on
mm,
situation, based on the industry, then it keep evaluating. So that AI cannot do. I maybe honest my opinion, it cannot adapt that quickly because training the AI systems is not an easy task. It needs a lot of money, time, effort. In that sense, the coding, coding is not a dead end. I would say you should make use of that. Whatever it's not like you again reinvent the wheel. Say if somebody asks you to write a program saying "Hello World," you there is no point for you again typing each and word where you can get already some information from AI, and you make adjustments so that AI has already the best practices that are available in the market. On top of that, you wanted to add your enhancement, so you should have that mindset. Now what if the program that given by it's working tomorrow and it's not working? Then you should be knowing it, where to look for it, why it is not working. In order for
mhm,
you to know that this program where it is not working, first you should know how to write a program, right? So that is something that you cannot skip it. So first you have to learn the basics of the system. Then
yeah,
if you want to go advanced, use AI. And then if you want to fall back, you can fall back because you know how the things works. But if you don't know,
yeah,
you're completely new, and what you know is completely copy pasting from the chat GPT, then obviously that's gonna not work. Because imagine like you are building your own company, and you copy pasted something, but tomorrow it went off, it was down, and you don't know how to troubleshoot it. Then you don't want to be in that situation, right? So
yeah,
what you think, you take help, but not like you don't delegate entire your task to the AI. You only ask like when you have a doubt or when you have a question, or am I doing the right way, or is this something can be done better, or is there anything that I'm doing wrong that does not align with industry standards. So these aspects like uh, they will really help you to use AI. In the past, it used to take many days or months to just review and software code. So the AI can do it and tell you like, see, you have something wrong here. Then this can be done this year. Learn from that and
yeah,
implement it. So
yes.
that's my advice. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you for that. So, as you said, it can just generate the code, not the logic. If we can build the logic and say to the use the power of AI so that we can build
Yeah.
some wonderful things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have this. This is completely a personal question. After graduation, either it is a BTech or a degree, what most of the students are doing is they are moving to Hyderabad, Bangalore, so the top tier cities, and taking some random course and pursuing it for years and of years and applying for the jobs, getting rejections. So this cycle is going like anything in right now in all the states. So what do you think about it as a person who
I
is
would,
working in a good MNC company?
uh, I would say, see, the first part is like when you're joining any course or going, I would not say it's wrong, but I would say how keen you are and how much you are interested in learning that particular technology.
Hmm.
So if you learn that something got a job, you just join that course because someone got a job in that course, and by the time you complete the course, you do not there is no opportunity what you will do. Just because of learning per se, you should not join any course. The first thing is that.
Yeah.
Second thing is, I except for the specialization courses, most of the courses have needs to have some fundamental basics. Obviously,
Hmm. Hmm.
those basics are already taught in your college, which you ignored. If you look back and see, when you join any course, the first thing they'll tell you how to use operating systems.
Yeah.
Hasn't operating system one of the subject in your CSC curriculum?
Yes.
Hasn't Unix is one of the sub? You didn't learn it, so you just learn it for learning passing the exam. That's the
Yeah.
problem, and you forgot. Now you join the course. The same thing will happen because they will also teach you for 30 days or 40 days, and then you will again forget. So first
Yeah.
thing whenever you wanted to join a course, first thing you should understand is we forget the things when you learn just for the sake of it. That's the first thing you should realize it. Even if you join the
Yeah.
course, I'm gonna forget this in another 3 4 months. So what is
Yeah.
that I can do so that it stays with me for a long time? That you have to understand it. So that's how you should be thinking about it. So you when you learn any course, just think if you can apply it in your real life itself and build some projects around it. That's a good way of doing it. So when you have
Yeah.
something, it sticks to your mind because you are doing in anything you do in day-to-day work, you will remember it.
Yeah.
Just for sake of the course that you join and then you attend the classes and then sometimes you will only won't go you will only drop off in the
Yeah.
middle and then attend one more course because somebody says that someone got job in this and you will go into never ending loop. So first
Hmm.
thing, if you wanted to go for a course, first see how much in your whatever the stream that you have chosen, are you already familiar with the basics? There is there is
Okay.
it's a good thing that you should do this check yourself. Are you good strong in fundamentals? Do you know like how these things work? So if you are good at like at least the minimum everybody, if you want to, I'm talking about software engineering because of other
Hmm.
industries are not much exposed to. So at least the minimum you should expect is like learn C language. So in first year everyone should be having a C language, but then
Yeah.
by the time fourth year you will forget it. Why that happens? At least you may forget some terminology or some advanced concept, but at least basics should remain. No, if you had
Yeah.
enough labs and practiced it, or you wrote a C program that is something that so that's the problem. So you don't pay enough attention during the engineering and then we expect again after engineering somebody has to teach us something which I will again forget. So it should
Yeah.
not be like an endless cycle. So it has to
Yes.
come always like an interest basis. So at least in your branch when you're studying, if you since you haven't graduated, understand what are their core subjects and how they are relevant to the current market. If they're still relevant, you should at least those subjects you should have good knowledge and good hands-on because they will help you in
Hmm.
the long run. So that is something you should have. So maybe people from electronics background they should know how to use a microprocessor, that the how to use Arduino, how to do a project. At least that kind of knowledge you should be having. and
Hmm.
and you studied an electrical engineering or you studied an electronics and then when something is not your working in your home and then you expect someone from outside to come and fix. I'm saying like because
Yeah.
if
Then
you
we
don't,
really need to think about it.
yeah. So what did you learn then if you are not sure about it? See, the parents won't allow you, that is one part of it, but at least well are you confident that you should think, because that is the real world application, right? Because
Yeah.
whatever you learn, when the situation comes, you have to apply it, but you're not able to apply it, then what did you learn? Then you have to question back yourself. Why has some electrician come and have to fix it? Maybe you don't know the
Mm.
best practice, but just for fixing, you don't need to have do entire wiring for your home. Just have to understand where the problem and this. Can't you change a fuse in your home itself? You need someone else to come and fix it? So when you, that's what the real world application is. So you should be at least
Mm.
confident on those things, because so that is the one thing that is lacking, because we just learn because for the sake of it, and then we expect that someone has to come give a job to us. Then that's not going to happen. In the
Yeah.
college it happens, because even though you are not listening to the classes you're not attending, the college will keep you because you are paying to the college.
Yes.
but but in the software industry it is the other way. So if you are not productive, or if you are not beneficial for them, they say like, we'll see, like it's goodbye. That's how it is, because it's, you have to think that way. So when you pay this and spend 4 years, then what did you learn? That is something that should, if you did not learn anything in the 4 years, first you see what are your, at least you should get something from that. Then you decide, you
Yeah.
you have a knowledge, you understand your subject, then you go for anything, like because you want some push, because you don't know that specific you wanted to learn some frameworks or something, then you go for the training.
Mhm.
And don't keep on doing it. Now you attend another course, then you will forget this course, then other course and other course, it won't yield any results.
Yes, got it. Like it's not about what kind of course you're taking. Simple. It's about taking a course which you are interested and which you have the foundation, so that
Yeah.
it makes your work easier when you're pursuing that particular course.
Yeah, and this is based on what I typically whatever I said is typically based on how the course curriculum works. For you will have 4 years and you finish it.
Yeah.
But now some people might ask, is it mandatory that even though I did a mechanical engineering, can't I go to the software industry? Yes, you can go. So the if I say currently where I'm working, the Ireland location, if you see people from, they'll have different backgrounds. They won't be computer backgrounds. They'll be from
Yeah.
finance background. They will be from some else. Somebody have done masters in music also. They wanted to work in
Oh.
software industry. All
Mhm.
it takes is like, that's what I'm saying. We are spending 4 years on a specific branch and we don't learn anything out of it. But a person from a different curriculum, because he don't know anything, he is very attentive and he wanted to learn something, he attend a course and he remembers like maybe 50% of it. Then whom will you choose? You will choose the other person over you, because
Yeah.
even though you did a course and you are from the core background, you still didn't remember anything about it. But this person, because he set his expectation low, that I don't know anything, I wanted to learn, that mindset, so you will learn it. But you, I did computer science, I know these things, and you will go with that mindset. Then when it comes to the interview, then that's the most reason that most of the, especially in India, that's the reason that we think like, if you do a computer science, you think like that you are eligible for the job. No, it is not like that. So maybe what happens down the line after 4 years, whatever you studied, we won't be using, we'll be using something new. But
Yeah.
the foundation for this is like, whatever you studied, your thought process keeps developing on the basics that you have already acquired in your college.
Yeah. Got it. So one final question from these job talk and the job talk. Uh, how to get a high paying job in 2025 in simple words? What they need to do to get a high paying job?
It's again subjective, but the question is like, what is most interesting? So high paying jobs, to me, there are many. Like if you talk about a business, that is a different game altogether. It depends on how you grow and what kind of this thing. Maybe if you talk about development, SD, software development engineers, is something that I think most of the high paying jobs. And then
Okay.
if you're not good with development, then there are other like engineering jobs, ML engineer, DevOps engineer, depends on this.
Yeah.
So it depends on your caliber, like what you wanted to learn. So is it just you wanted to get high paying job? then you should be having some, make like some pro, what I would say, you have to have some kind of skills acquired for yourself if you wanted to get a high paying job. Most of the soft SDE jobs, the the primary requirement is like, if you're coming from software background or any background, you wanted to apply for SDE, software development engineer, you should be having basics of operating systems, and then they expect you to learn data structures and algorithm, DSC, and then
Yeah.
system design. So you can't directly do coding on the interview directly on the day, right? You have to have the practice. You can just directly drive your car on the highway on the first day itself. So you should have
Yes.
practice. That's what makes you ready for the your interview. So there are a lot of sites like HackerRank, HackerEarth, and then Lead Code. So you start practicing those questions, then they'll teach you how to solve a problem, a specific coding problem. Now again saying that if I don't have these profiles, is it I mean, is this meaning that I am not fit for the software or no? But the problem is that when in any industry there are some standards set, either you might be an exceptional case, but for you to go to filtering process, you have to follow the same rules.
Yeah.
So usually the interviews also uses the same techniques because they don't want to introduce a new system just for yourself. So
Yeah.
you build a lead code profile and do this thing. Tell you one more interesting, like how I uh, got, even though I got like in between how I switched the jobs. There used to be a contest on these portals. So they give you a specific coding problem
Mm-hmm.
and they ask you to write the code, and then they will have a leaderboard and they will call all the top 10 people who has written the program that ran in less amount of time. So they will have leaderboard, and first they will give you a problem, and then they ask you to code, and then based on the leaderboard and the rank, they'll call you like top 10 people for the interview. That is one way of getting in interviews also. If you are not, if you are keep applying but nobody is calling you for the interview, then explore this. There are some hackathons conducted. So basically, they um, they will ask you to solve a specific problem, and based on that, they'll call you for the interview. Especially if you are wanted to go with the machine learning background and enter into machine learning, there are sites, something like Kaggle. So Kaggle is something one of the best site for machine learning. So they'll teach you the basics, and then they'll give you like a real world problems where you get opportunity to solve them, write algorithms
Okay.
or optimize this thing. And if you were, maybe there are monetary benefits as well, and if you are a very good, if you are able to good, then that is also a way to get a job. So
Yeah.
if you don't want to go to an urban filtering process, because either you have to prove in this way or that way, so there is no other way that you can get into the system.
Yeah, we came to the end. I have a quick rapid fire for you. So
Hmm.
I'll be asking a couple of questions. I just want you to answer in one word or one line,
Hmm.
so that the name called rapid fire gets satisfied. If you're answering it
Okay.
in one line or one word, okay. So I'll
Okay.
quickly start it. Which job will vanish due to AI in 2025? Three
Customer
roles.
support, customer support, business processing roles, kind of junior development roles.
Okay. So all the junior level roles will get vanished by 2025. Cool. So one job uh, you would prefer to work in on 2025, or you would suggest to the people to pursue that particular for that particular role.
A machine learning engineer.
Okay. Is that because you're working in that?
Not because I work in that, but the trend, current market trend based on that.
Okay.
It's
Cool.
just my personal opinion, but yeah, people might have different. But you can say AI engineer or machine learning engineer. Or
Yeah. So the next question, one job you would not recommend anyone to pursue in 2025.
no, I tough question.
Yes.
There is nothing like that, I would say.
Because
Maybe
as AI is replacing so many kind of job roles, this it is simplifying things so
mhm,
nicely. So some roles are not necessary to put lot of efforts or lot of time, right?
especially these backup is for jobs where you prepare presentations, PPTs, documents. This job
Mhm. Yeah,
that
cool.
AI can do 100% best at. So you don't need this
Yes,
stuff.
AI is like there is so many tools that can make presentations in snap minutes. Yeah, cool. So if you had to ban one AI tool forever, which one you would prefer? If you wanted to ban any one AI tool, what would it be?
I personally don't have because I use all of them for my benefit.
Okay. One,
Mm,
like, or else, I'll just reiterate the question in this way. What is the one tool that gave you the worst experience?
I think it's a tough question to answer because I mean, what I can say is
Then
like,
that means you're so good at using all the AI models that are out there in the market.
yeah, that could be either I don't think it is a worse, but I think myself is the way that they train the model is either itself is bad or the way they are using it model is it the way that is
So,
wrong. I feel like that.
which one?
I don't have the any personal because uh, I would not say anything like that because all of them I've used for specific purpose. So I don't have any specific tool that I can list that I wanted to ban, especially.
Okay.
So
Yes. So the next question is, do you think AI will increase the unemployment in India 20 by 2027?
AI is one of the cause,
Yeah.
but AI alone is not. There are other factors, but AI could be one.
Robotics is coming into the picture soon.
Robotics is been there from even before AI come into the this thing. So the
But
combination of AI plus robotics might be deadly, but again it depends on the person that uses the AI. That
yeah.
defines it how deadly it is.
Can we expect Robo movie in real by 2030? Like the robots handling things.
There are already, isn't it? So
Yeah.
you can expect, yes,
Cool.
not a
So
movie, but at that level of automation, if you see the Tesla, they have also have a self-driving cars. I think so. They have also they have released recently as I think the new product. So you can expect because they have like a AI chip, something that human implant that they wanted to do. So
yeah,
you
yeah.
can expect
Recently they
this.
did that. So it is the chip to monetize the human brain, it seems.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's
The
a like a
final one.
double-edged sword. So it's a
Yeah.
double-edged sword. So it depends on how you use it, and mostly it would be used for
Oh,
a good reasons. So it's good.
hopefully.
Mm.
And the final one, if your company replace you with an AI tomorrow, what is your backup plan? If your company is replacing your role with an AI tool, for example, I'm not saying it for real. For example, if AI is replacing your role tomorrow,
Yeah,
what would
I'll
be
maintain
the
that.
your backup plan?
I will maintain that AI tool.
Sorry.
So I'll be the one that who is maintaining it. If it replaces my
Okay,
job, then
you're the
I'll.
one that who is maintaining that tool. That's really great to know. So the final one, what is the one advice that you wanted to give to the students or the working professionals who are using this particular podcast uh, regarding the AI or AI in 2025?
Use AI and do self-assessment
So
before
simple,
you.
use AI and do
Yeah, simple.
self-assessment.
Yeah, yeah, because that will tell you like where you stand at. So AI can't lie. Maybe your friend can lie saying that you don't know anything. You'll say that's okay, but AI cannot. AI will give you the honest answer. Take that as a constructive feedback and build yourself. That is one advice I can give you.
Mm.
Maybe you've done, like, you finished 2 years of engineering, and you say, like, ask AI that I have these many subjects in my first 2 years. Then ask it, like, what should you be knowing at the end of 2 years. So AI can tell you whether you really know it. Just it's you
Yeah.
being honest to yourself is the first thing. So, and then you try to learn it. So that's the honest advice I can give you. And if you really good at what you learn, then I think you definitely get a job. It might require little struggle, but in life everything is a struggle. It's nothing comes for free. So
If,
that's
if
what
something,
you need to keep in mind.
yeah.
But you give 100% efforts, and then rest is, it will come when the time comes. So that's something.
Yes. If something comes for free, it goes like a free bird from us again. Yeah. So it's great talking to you, Mr. Raja. So thank you so much for your time and thank you for sharing your knowledge. And once again, thank you so much for accepting my request for my very first podcast. And
No
thank you for
problem.
your all the knowledge that you have shared throughout the podcast. So looking
Yeah, I
forward for
hope
the
this whatever the
yeah.
information I shared, that would be useful for the students. And if you need any help or anything, maybe they can touch with you. I can help them if they want anything. I'm happy to help and help them go in their career.
I'll be adding your LinkedIn profile link in the bio.
Yeah,
So someone wants any kind of guidance, so they can follow you and they can get in touch with you. This way, you can help the students if anyone are really interested to get into a kind of role that you're actually
definitely.
working.
When you reach out to me, just have some little background of yourself, so that I don't waste your time and you don't waste my time, so that I can directly get into the point and help you, like, what you need exactly.
Yes, sure. So keep this in mind when before reaching out. Just keep in mind what exactly you're looking for and have that background knowledge as well. So cool. Thank you once again. Thank you so much, Mr. Raja. I'll be
Yeah, nice. Likewise, nice talking to you, and hope everyone have shared some experience that would be useful for your future.
That is all about our first podcast, guys. So don't worry, the podcast might be so lengthy. We'll add the other details in the description, like the tools that we have discussed, and also the guest LinkedIn profile link as well, so that you guys can refer it if you require. And do follow Rajesh Breakdown. So we are getting so many guests who can share the knowledge, who who are in our place, like me and you started journey from your place and reaching out to the extraordinary place that we are actually aiming for. So I'll be bringing this kind of podcast in live, raw, real, and completely realistic. So stay tuned for the upcoming podcast. This is just a beginning. So we have so many lined up.